So the Strawhecker Group in the ETA just published their sixth annual consumer holiday spending survey,
Okay.
and there were some key takeaways for acquirers, processors, and their sales partners. One of the ones that I thought was pretty key was the need to customize solutions to address merchant needs, and you have to bear in mind that these needs are going to differ by geography. For example, you know, merchants in rural areas. Okay, whereas merchants and urban shoppers, let's put it this
Hmm.
way, urban shoppers, even though you live in Altoona, which isn't exactly urban,
No.
are really enamored with tap to pay, digital wallets, and buy
Right.
now, pay later.
Sure.
Whereas those in rural areas are better served by customer loyalty solutions,
Mm,
especially smaller merchants.
sure.
And then there was another interesting thing here, which was better than half, 54% of rural consumers said they prefer to shop with small businesses whenever they can.
Mm,
I
yeah.
thought that was interesting as
Yeah, that
well.
is. Hmm.
A couple other points that the two organizations came up with was promote security features for merchants as well as consumers to ensure safe, compliant transactions.
Mm,
They found that 1 in 3 consumers that they surveyed would be most comfortable using newer payment technologies if they knew they had better security features than older ones.
right. Right.
And another interesting tidbit, roughly half of consumers surveyed said they plan to spend roughly the same amount of money that they spent last year, and about 15% said plan to spend more.
Oh, well. Okay.
Which I thought that was kind of interesting, given sort of all the economic uncertainty and
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
Um, and again, back to the small business, even on the urban side and the suburban side, nearly half of consumers surveyed, 48%, said they try to stay local and loyal to their small businesses.
Mm,
38% said they would be swayed to shop at a small business if their preferred payment method and checkout features were available, which is
mm,
kind of a no-brainer, but still, it
right.
it it it, it you know illustrates the need to sell these new payment methods even to
Yeah.
the small guys in
Mm,
where I am and where you are.
right. Right.
Also this week, PayPal released its 2025 holiday shopping survey.
Okay.
And there was a really interesting piece of information that came out of that. 77%, nearly 8 out of 10 consumers, are planning to use AI to help them shop this year, which underscores the need for merchants to
Wow.
optimize their visibility,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I mean,
Wow,
there's a
that's so
real,
interesting.
that I thought was one of the most interesting stats I came across this week. Why do they use them? About 1 in 3 to find the best deals, 3 in 10 to compare products, and about 1 in 4 are just looking for gift recommendations.
Mm,
That would be me. I
of
get
course.
so
Yep.
I don't I see my nieces and nephews maybe once a year, and they're all adults now. So like, what do you get? What do you get a gym teacher, right?
Right.
What do
Exactly.
you get an engineer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
those are the kind of jobs my nieces and nephews have these days. So
Yeah. Hmm.
here's another interesting little tidbit was PayPal found a resurgence of in-store shopping plans. 64% of shoppers said they plan to shop in-store this holiday season.
Hmm.
41% plan to shop both online and in-store.
Hmm. Wow. It's a lot.
I would have expected that to be sort of switched around.
Right. Right.
64%, online and in-store, but it's sort of one of the senses that I got from it when I was reading it was that it kind of is like a rebirth of the concept of omni-channel.
Right. Yes.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
I
You really
think
need to have both.
you really do. You can't get by with just one anymore.
Hmm. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So here's next up, PayPal and Mastercard are both leaning into AI. Um, PayPal, in fact, is making a whole lot of news. They have a partnership with MasterCard to integrate MasterCard Agent Pay, the card company's agentic payments platform, into the PayPal wallet.
Hmm.
Agent Pay, in case our listeners aren't familiar, it uses tokenization capabilities to power solutions like mobile contactless payments, secure card on file, so that they can deliver secure, personalized payment experiences. As that's
Mm,
the way Mastercard describes it.
right.
But it really, to me, this deal highlights how agentic commerce, where AI agents act on behalf of shoppers to find and purchase products, is really redefining e-commerce.
Yeah. Well, I think AI in general is redefining. I mean, what was the number you said a minute ago? 7 in 10 we're looking to use AI to help them with
Yep.
shopping or something like that. I mean,
Right.
what's
Yeah.
the number that I think will be really interesting is in, let's say, 2 or 3 years when it's like 1 in 10 is not planning to shop. They're just planning to let the AI know who they're shopping for, and the
What they're
AI will go
shopping
buy
for,
it.
and
Um, you know.
that's a really good possibility, especially younger people.
Hmm.
The other
Yeah.
thing that PayPal did this week, announced this week, was a partnership with OpenAI, which of course is a company behind ChatGTP,
Hmm.
that will allow ChatGTP users to make purchases directly through the PayPal platform without ever going off the ChatGPT. GTP. That's a tongue twister to
It's
me.
GPT. Yeah, you're getting it though.
Yeah, I know. See, I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, GTP, right? Without, going, without having to get off, you're just sitting
Right.
there
Right.
like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks great. Get me
Yep.
that pair of shoes,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah, this is tricky stuff. I mean, the payments landscape, it's a little tricky to be able to say, I'm going to give my AI the ability to use my money. And
Right.
so there's just a lot that goes into that. I think there's just so many interesting things that are going to happen. I think the fraud part is really interesting. I think the idea of, it's almost like, Patty, there's going to be this rush, and it's really interesting. I was actually in a meeting today. Like, we're going to roll out for Stackably, we're rolling out the marketing stack here in about a month, where we already have like website creation and all that through CC
Right.
Storage. So
Right.
I have a little division that builds websites. So now we're going to add in like social media management and marketing and stuff, right? So we're putting all that together. And one of the things we're talking a lot about is, with the website stuff, we have the SEO package, right? Well, we're going to really soon need to also have the AI package, because
Right.
it's almost like another scramble. I mean, I remember the days where everything was about SEO. It was like, man, you've got to make it your website
Right.
so that the search engines rank you higher.
Right.
Well,
Right.
how do you build a website so that the AI agent is more likely to buy something from your website? And I think what's going to be really interesting here, Patty, that a lot of people are not appreciating is this is going to be like a tectonic shift in terms of commerce, because
Oh, yes.
I can tell you what's going to happen initially. What's going to happen initially is that Amazon and Walmart are going to get a big chunk of the business from OpenAI and from ChatGPT, because they're going to make it, built for AI. And
Right.
OpenAI is going to be so nervous about allowing their AI agent to go buy from some random website. And how do they know for sure that their AI agent bought the right thing? What's the guarantee, right? So,
What's the guarantee that it's a legitimate merchant that is not just,
yes,
some
that
phantom
you're going to
merchant
get
that
your
was put up there?
right. And so I think what's going to happen is there's going to be this whole kind of rush. Um, I personally think there's going to be a whole other tech suite that's going to come out from OpenAI and these other companies, but in other words, to like verify your site and things like that.
Right.
But this is a big, big deal, because if AI is going to be going out and making purchases, then the online businesses are going to need to know, well, how do I make sure that my website is coming up as a
Mm-hmm.
viable merchant that an AI can purchase from? And they need to
Right.
be able to, accept the right forms of payment. They need to have everything optimized. They need to have whatever this validation is going to be. So there's going to be a lot of conversations around commerce and payments coming up in the next few months, for sure, in,
Oh,
in
I
the next the
agree.
next
I
year
agree.
especially.
Yeah, and I think that, the important thing for agents and ISOs to remember is that, they need to be helping merchants, you
Yep.
know, get recognized.
Yes.
And, also, tying merchants in with things like manufacturer funded offers, right?
Mm,
Um, and of course, as you know, least cost routing is going to become an important thing as well.
right. Right.
And these are where areas where the ISO and the agent can be helping the merchant. But I just did, maybe a month ago, I did sort of for the green sheet, the nightmare of AI. I mean, I'd done some coverage about,
Yeah.
agentic, but sort of what you were just talking about. How do we know that it's a legitimate website? And how do we know that somebody hasn't gone in and managed the AI engine
Right.
to line their own pockets. I
Right.
mean, there's
Well,
all kinds of possibilities.
there is. The way I look at it, Patty, is there's going to be two driving forces that are going to be almost competing against each other in this growth. The first one is going to be a balanced, um, you know, free market, meaning,
Hmm.
the Congress is not going to be pleased when they find out that 97% of commerce went over Amazon and Walmart. They're going to be like, wait a minute,
No,
you're leaving small businesses out. They're going to tell OpenAI, you're not allowed, you legally can't do that, right? They're going to, but then that same Congress is going to say, hey, all these customers are reporting fraud that your AI agent bought something and they never got it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
these two things are at odds with each other. And so there's because, it's like, well, if you're going to buy from all these
yeah.
smaller online merchants, you run the risk of fraud. So there's going to be a very interesting debate, I think, around commerce over the next year that's going to relate to that.
If Congress ever goes back in session,
Well, right. Right. You got to give them, well, we've got to open the government first. Then we'll see
gotta
if,
open up the legislature. Then we can
right.
talk
Then we can
about
see if we
this
can
stuff.
solve something. So, but it
Right,
will be a
right.
very interesting time, I think, on all the e-commerce stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So finally, our my last news item for this week, Early Warning Services, which is the banking consortium that owns and operates Zelle, the
Hmm.
P2P network, is taking the network global and using stable coins to support faster, more reliable cross-border money movement.
Mm,
As we've discussed and everybody probably knows by now, stable coins are the most traded digital currency out there, and they're pegged to a fiat currency like the dollar or the euro.
hmm. Yep.
Um, Artemis, which is an analytics platform for blockchain data, puts the current supply of stablecoins at a value of $300 billion, up from $10 billion just 5 years ago.
Mm. Wow.
And I think a lot of that is because, we had the Genius Act. That was one of the things Congress did
Right.
before it went on its extended vacation.
Yeah.
Um, in August, $122 billion in stablecoin payments were settled.
Mm.
So the 300 billion is just the value of stable coins out there.
Right.
About a third of that though was used to pay for things.
Yeah. So in other words, unlike Bitcoin, stable coins are not being held. There's no reason to hold them in reserve. They're
Right,
being used as currency.
right, right.
Yeah.
So just to put it in perspective, in addition to the seven big banks that own early warning, Zelle is offered by more than 2,300 U.S. banks and credit unions.
Mm.
And earlier this year, the company had some transaction milestones. For the first 6 months of 2025, Zelle said it saw double-digit growth. Total dollar value was up. It put dollar value at $600 billion,
Mm.
which is a 23% increase over 2024.
Mm.
And the total number of payments to small businesses jumped 31% to 180 million.
Mm. 180 million. Okay.
180 million payments to small businesses
Oh,
using
180 million payments or 180 million in
payments.
volume.
No, 180 million
Payments
payments
to small businesses.
to
Wow, that's a
small
lot.
businesses using
Okay.
Zelle. That was a lot. I
Wow.
thought that was really
Yeah.
a lot.
But
Yeah.
isn't it interesting though? So just backing up for 1 second. So I'm trying to unpack those stats for a minute. So you were talking about stable coins, and I
Mm-hmm.
think you said what was it? Stable coins did 100 and something billion
122 billion in payments
in
were
what period of
settled
time?
in August,
So 1 month.
1 month.
Zelle, which has been around for quite a while, backed by all
Right.
the major banks,
Right.
did 600
600
billion for the
billion
year,
for the half year.
for the half year. So literally, stablecoin based on that number, roughly,
Right.
stablecoin has already eclipsed Zelle,
Yep.
and it really wasn't mainstream 18 months ago, really.
No, it wasn't even mainstream 8 months ago.
Right.
I
So
mean,
that's very interesting.
yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I think it's a big reason why early warning is getting into stablecoins.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow, very interesting stuff, Patty.
Well, that's it for this week, James.
All righty. Well, Patty, as always, thank you so much for sharing your insights. We always appreciate
Uh,
it.
Thank you for being able to help me drill down to the nut of it all.
Yeah, well, always enjoy it. Thanks again, Patty.
Thank you. Take care.